Look at your legs for a moment. I am serious. Not your shoes, not the floor, your legs. The part of your body that has carried you through decades of work, responsibility, family, and sacrifice. Now pause and notice how they feel. Do they feel warm and responsive like they used to? Or colder, heavier, slower to wake up when you stand? If you are over 70, this is not your imagination. It is not weakness, and it is not laziness. As a doctor, I see this every day. What is happening is a quiet change in circulation that most seniors are never warned about. Many people assume poor blood flow starts in the heart, but that is not where it begins. It often starts deep in the smallest vessels of the legs, where oxygen delivery slowly declines. Here is the important part. Your body is not broken. It is asking for support, and the right nutrients can make a real difference even later in life. In this video, I will walk you through 6 vitamins linked to healthier blood flow in the legs of older adults, ranked from least to most powerful. Make sure to watch until the end, because the number 1 vitamin explains why many seniors struggle with cold or tired legs and what can help restore warmth, strength, and confidence again. Before we begin, tell me in the comments, how old are you? Where are you watching from? And do your legs feel colder than they used to, especially in the morning? Vitamin number 6, vitamin E and vessel flexibility. Let us begin with vitamin number 6, vitamin E. Most seniors recognize vitamin E as something connected to skin or immune health, but very few realize how important it is for circulation in the legs. Inside your blood vessels is a delicate inner lining that needs to stay smooth and flexible for blood to move freely. Vitamin E helps protect this lining from oxidative stress, which is one of the main reasons vessels stiffen and narrow with age. When this lining becomes irritated or rigid, blood flow slows down, especially in the lower legs where gravity already works against you. As a doctor, I often see seniors with cold feet or tired legs whose vitamin E levels are lower than ideal. Research following older adults over several years has shown that those with healthier vitamin E status tend to maintain better lower leg circulation compared to those who are deficient. The difference is not dramatic overnight, but it becomes very noticeable over time in warmth, comfort, and endurance while walking. One important detail is how vitamin E is absorbed. Vitamin E is fat-soluble, which means it needs dietary fat to enter your bloodstream properly. When seniors take vitamin E on an empty stomach or without fat, much of it simply goes unused. This is why food sources like almonds, sunflower seeds, and wheat germ oil tend to work better when eaten with healthy fats such as olive oil or avocado. If supplementation is used, doctors commonly recommend natural mixed tocopherols rather than single synthetic forms because the body uses the full spectrum more efficiently. Typical circulation support doses often fall around 400 international units per day, usually split with meals to improve absorption. If you take blood thinners or manage clotting conditions, vitamin E should always be discussed with your healthcare provider since it can gently affect platelet activity. Vitamin E helps protect the pathways, but it is only one piece of the puzzle. The next vitamin works on the actual structure of your blood vessels themselves. Vitamin number 5. Vitamin C and vessel strength. Vitamin number 5 is vitamin C. Most people think of vitamin C as something you take when you feel a cold coming on. But for seniors, its role in leg circulation goes much deeper than immunity. Your blood vessels are not rigid tubes. They are living structures that must stretch, contract, and respond thousands of times a day. What gives them that strength and flexibility is collagen, a structural protein that acts like internal support. Without enough vitamin C, your body cannot properly produce or repair collagen. Over time, blood vessels can become weaker, less elastic, and more prone to irritation, especially in the legs where pressure is highest. As a doctor, I often explain this to seniors who experience heavy or aching legs. Studies observing older adults have found that those with healthier vitamin C levels tend to have more elastic blood vessels and better circulation in the lower extremities. This elasticity matters because every step you take requires blood to move upward against gravity. Vitamin C also plays another important role. It helps protect blood vessels from ongoing damage by neutralizing free radicals that cause inflammation inside vessel walls. Less inflammation means smoother flow and fewer blockages over time. There is a practical challenge with vitamin C. It is water-soluble, which means your body does not store it well. Seniors can become mildly deficient even when they believe they are eating enough. That is why vitamin C often works best when taken in smaller divided amounts throughout the day rather than one large dose that the body quickly excretes. Foods like kiwi, red bell peppers, and citrus fruits provide vitamin C in a form that is easier for the body to use. When supplementation is needed, buffered forms are often better tolerated by sensitive stomachs. Commonly used circulation support doses are around 500 milligrams taken 2 to 3 times daily with meals. If you take medications for blood pressure or blood sugar, vitamin C is generally gentle, but it is still wise to mention supplementation to your healthcare provider. Vitamin C helps reinforce the vessel walls, but the next vitamin works by actively opening the pathways blood travels through. Vitamin number 4. Vitamin B3 and circulation activation. Vitamin number 4 is vitamin B3, also known as niacin. This is one of the few nutrients that can create a noticeable physical sensation when it begins working, especially in the legs. Many seniors describe a gentle warmth or flushing feeling, and while that can feel surprising, it is actually a sign of increased blood flow. Niacin works by helping blood vessels relax and widen. When vessels open, more oxygen-rich blood can reach areas that may have felt cold, tight, or underpowered for years. This effect is especially important in the lower legs and feet where circulation naturally slows with age. As a doctor, I have seen seniors who struggled with leg cramps or constant coldness notice real improvement once niacin was used appropriately. Clinical observations and studies involving older adults show that niacin can improve blood flow and reduce stiffness in blood vessels when taken consistently over time. This is not about instant transformation, but about restoring responsiveness to vessels that have become less flexible. Niacin also supports healthier cholesterol balance by reducing sticky forms of cholesterol that tend to cling to vessel walls, while supporting protective forms that help keep pathways clear. This combination supports smoother circulation throughout the body, including the legs. One important point is how niacin is introduced. Immediate-release niacin is commonly used for circulation support because it produces the vessel-widening response to reduce discomfort. It is usually started at a low dose and gradually increased as the body adapts. Typical protocols often begin around 50 mg daily and slowly work up to commonly used levels of 250 to 500 mg taken with meals. Because niacin can interact with medications for cholesterol, blood pressure, or diabetes, it should always be discussed with a healthcare professional before use. Taken properly, niacin can reawaken circulation, but it is not the deepest solution yet. The next vitamin works at a structural level that protects your arteries from becoming rigid in the first place. Vitamin number 3, vitamin K2, and artery protection. Vitamin number 3 is vitamin K2, and this is one of the most overlooked nutrients when it comes to leg circulation in seniors. Many people confuse it with vitamin K1, which is involved in blood clotting, but K2 has a very different and very important role, especially after 70. Vitamin K2 helps direct calcium to where it belongs. Instead of allowing calcium to settle inside your arteries and stiffen them over time, K2 activates proteins that guide calcium into your bones. When calcium builds up in artery walls, those vessels slowly lose their ability to expand and relax. In the legs, this can feel like heaviness, tightness, or fatigue when walking even short distances. As a doctor, I often explain that aging arteries can start to behave like old pipes. They become rigid, narrow, and less responsive. Long-term studies following older adults have shown that people with higher vitamin K2 intake tend to have less arterial stiffening and better overall circulation, including in the lower body. This is especially meaningful for seniors who notice their legs no longer feel light or responsive. One challenge is that vitamin K2 is not common in modern diets. It is found mainly in fermented foods and certain aged products that many seniors rarely eat. Absorption can also decline with age due to changes in digestion. Because K2 is fat-soluble, it works best when taken with a meal that contains healthy fats. For supplementation, Doctors often refer to the MK7 form of vitamin K2 because it stays active in the body longer than other forms. Commonly used doses for circulation and arterial support are around 180 micrograms per day taken with a meal. If you are on blood-thinning medications, vitamin K2 should only be used under medical guidance as it can influence clotting balance. Vitamin K2 helps keep arteries flexible and clear. But the next vitamin goes even deeper by influencing how your blood vessels function at a cellular level. Before we continue with our final two, let me pause for a moment. If this video is helping you understand your leg circulation better, please take a second to like the video and subscribe to Senior Vital Health. It truly helps this channel reach more seniors who need clear and respectful health guidance. I would also love to hear from you. How has your health been lately? You can share as much or as little as you like in the comments. Your experience matters, and many others reading may feel the same way. And if you are finding this information valuable and would like to support the channel, you can tap the Super Thanks feature below. Even small gestures help us continue creating educational content specifically for older adults. Now let's continue. Vitamin number 2, vitamin D3 and vessel function. Vitamin number 2 is vitamin D3, and this is where circulation support begins to feel more systemic and more powerful. Vitamin D3 is often called a vitamin, but in reality it behaves more like a hormone. It communicates with thousands of systems in your body, including the cells that control how your blood vessels open and close. After 70, vitamin D levels commonly decline. Even in seniors who spend time outdoors, the skin simply becomes less efficient at producing it, and dietary sources alone are rarely enough. As a doctor, I often see seniors with low vitamin D levels who also struggle with stiff vessels, poor leg circulation, and reduced walking endurance. Vitamin D3 works by activating receptors in the walls of your blood vessels. When these receptors are stimulated, they encourage the production of nitric oxide, a natural compound that tells vessels to relax and widen. This makes it easier for blood to flow all the way down into the legs and feet, even through very small vessels. Large observational studies of older adults have found that seniors with healthier vitamin D levels tend to have less arterial stiffness and better circulation to the extremities. This difference shows up in practical ways such as steadier walking, warmer legs, and improved balance. For supplementation, doctors commonly recommend vitamin D3 in doses around 2,000 to 5,000 international units per day, depending on baseline levels. Because vitamin D3 is fat-soluble, it absorbs best when taken with meals that include healthy fats such as eggs, fish, or avocado. Vitamin D3 is often paired with vitamin K2 to support proper calcium balance and vessel health. If you take medications for calcium balance, kidney conditions, or heart disease, vitamin D supplementation should always be discussed with your healthcare provider. Vitamin D3 sets the stage for healthy circulation, but there is one vitamin that directly fuels oxygen delivery itself. Vitamin number 1, vitamin B12 and oxygen delivery. Vitamin number 1 is vitamin B12. And for seniors, this nutrient often explains leg symptoms that were mistakenly blamed on aging alone. As a doctor, I can tell you that vitamin B12 deficiency is far more common after 60 than most people realize, and its effects show up clearly in the legs. Vitamin B12 plays 3 critical roles in circulation. First, it supports the production of healthy red blood cells, which are responsible for carrying oxygen to your muscles. Without enough B12, oxygen delivery slows and legs can feel weak, heavy, or easily fatigued. Second, B12 maintains the protective coating around nerves that control blood vessel function. When that protection weakens, signals telling vessels to open and close become unreliable. Third, B12 helps keep levels of homocyan in check, a compound that can damage vessel walls and interfere with blood flow when it builds up. After 70, the stomach produces less acid and less intrinsic factor, both of which are required to absorb B12 from food. This means you can be eating meat regularly and still be deficient. Studies following older adults have shown that restoring B12 levels can significantly improve circulation, balance, and walking endurance over time. Symptoms of low B12 often look like normal aging, tingling or numbness in the feet, poor balance, burning sensations at night, or legs that feel slow to respond. These are signals, not inevitabilities. For seniors, sublingual B12 supplements are commonly used because they bypass digestion and absorb directly into the bloodstream. Doctors often recommend methylcobalamin, the active form of B12, in doses around 1,000 to 2,500 micrograms daily during replenishment phases. If you take medications such as metformin or acid blockers, B12 status should be monitored closely as these drugs can reduce absorption. When circulation and nerve signaling improve together, the change can be deeply noticeable. This is why vitamin B12 often becomes the turning point for seniors struggling with leg discomfort. Medical disclaimer. The information in this video is meant for educational purposes only and is designed to support seniors in understanding circulation and nutrition. Every body is different, especially as we age. If you take prescription medications, manage chronic conditions, or are considering supplements discussed today, it is important to speak with your healthcare provider before making changes. This guidance is not meant to replace personalized medical advice. Always listen to your body, move at your own pace, and choose approaches that feel safe and sustainable for you. Let us briefly reinforce what we covered today. Circulation in the legs often declines quietly with age, but it is not hopeless. Vitamin E helps protect vessel linings. Vitamin C strengthens vessel walls. Niacin supports vessel expansion. Vitamin K2 helps keep arteries flexible. Vitamin D3 supports vessel function. And vitamin B12 fuels oxygen delivery and nerve signaling. When these nutrients are supported appropriately, many seniors notice warmer legs, steadier walking, and improved comfort over time. This is about support, not perfection. If you have made it this far, you are taking your health seriously, and that matters. Small, consistent steps often create the biggest changes over time. You are not behind, you are informed. Thank you for spending part of your day with Senior Vital Health. If this video helped you, consider subscribing so we can continue supporting your journey towards stronger circulation and greater independence.